Okay, so these are my slides for tonight's talk on suffering. Initially, it's supposed to be, why is there suffering? But I changed it to, why am I suffering? And full confession, I made these slides yesterday during my lecture. So, yeah, very naughty. All right, so I start with a game called Feel the Pain. And essentially, I give everyone a kazoo. And then they're supposed to put a rubber band around their leg and go piak. And as they piak, they go and they feel the pain. It'll be very, very funny because the whole room will be going around piaking each other. So that's one game called Feel the Pain. And the other game is called I Love You, I'm Sorry. Actually, I never tried this before. I'm going to get people to line up in front of a bowl of ice cream that I'll scoop lao gamma on. Chili oil ice cream. And then they have a choice either to eat the ice cream and say, I love you to the person behind them, or to scoop more lao gamma on the ice cream and say, I'm sorry to the person next to them. So they go one by one, I love you, and then yup, oh, I'm sorry, they put some more lao gamma. And then the last person, will probably be me, will have to finish up all the ice cream and go, Father, forgive them, for they don't know what they do. Will be good, very good. Will be also very, very suffering. That's the theme for tonight, pain and suffering. But yeah, we come to our first discussion question and ask them, why is this happening to me? Why am I eating lagama ice cream? And to ask them, what situation in life would someone say, why is this happening to me? And they discuss. I get some responses. And then I summarize it in maybe 4 categories of whys. Number one, people just encounter these whys every day. Why is it so hot? Why is it so traffic jam? It's just daily frustration. But also a crisis of faith. Maybe something really, really bad happens to them, like an illness, that makes them question their belief in God. Also evil and injustice. You know, they're asking why because they're seeing something wrong in the world. It might not be happening to them, but they think, hey, this shouldn't be happening. Someone should be doing something about the situation. And finally, a personal conflict, usually relationship problem. You fight with your boyfriend, your girlfriend, you go, why? We love each other. Why are we still fighting? And so different situations, and to acknowledge that actually these are all situations of suffering that are also very quite different. And then we look at Romans chapter 8. And we have about 3 points today. The first point is that suffering is a form of frustration. Yeah. And it says here, verse 20, the creation was subjected to frustration. That means God gave us not just this pain, but this frustration over pain. We ask, why? Why is this happening? And God actually caused us to feel this way. And that's because suffering is a way of feeling the pain inside of us. I put here internalizing evil. And usually evil, you can see it from afar, but it isn't until someone hurts you, someone takes advantage of you, and you feel this evil inside of you, that you go, wow, this is really, really wrong. Yeah, and that's what God feels when He looks at the world. Okay, next slide, next discussion. Okay, I cannot tahan anymore. When would someone say this? They discuss. And they say sometimes it's because they've lost hope. They don't think things will change anymore. That's why they go, I can't take it anymore. Or they see that no one's kind of like taking responsibility for this situation. They've lost hope in people. Or maybe they lose hope in God when they see big things they cannot change, like climate change. They see injustice in the world. Say, why isn't God doing something about this? But fundamentally, it's when they have a broken relationship. You know, why is this person always nagging me? Or why is this person not being more responsible or loving in this relationship? And essentially, it's coming to a breaking point. That's when someone says, I cannot tahan, I cannot think chui this situation anymore. And this is where we come to how do we express our frustration? And the second point is that suffering helps us to groan before God. And in Romans chapter 8, again, we see that the creation has been groaning, verse 22. But also verse 23, we as Christians also groan inside. So creation groans, and then we also groan. And here it says is that groaning is actually a good thing for Christians to do. Yeah, I think I have that as the next point. Groaning is actually good because groaning helps us to express our frustrations, not just to one another, but towards God. You know, you think of how the Israelites were groaning when they were enslaved by Pharaoh. They go, so painful, so painful. But they groaned before God, and it says that God heard their groanings. And the question is, what are we groaning before God? What are we praying about the evil that's in this world, but making it a request before God to save us? And then I look at this really, really amazing lady. Her name is Heidi Kwa. Let's watch a video of her. Ding. Okay.
Be angry teenagers and go like, yeah, the government's not doing enough. Yeah, people are not doing enough. It's always being angry about what other people are not doing enough.
Right.
And then it suddenly dawned on me, one of the days, when we were just so angry about what everybody is not doing. Like, what are we doing?
What are we doing?
So because of that,
interesting, right?
I decided that in the 4 months before I started college, I wanted to do
so there's a
something
turning point. Say, what am I going to do?
So I asked around and I found out about a refugee school in the heart of KL that needed.
So she found out about this school, and then she went to teach in this school, and she ended up running this school. So this was at 18 years old. She started this Refuge for Refugees, a charity. But 10 years later, this one school became 35 schools and served 2,500 children. Really amazing. And it all started from a complaint. All started from a groaning that then she redirected towards herself. What am I doing? So the question again is, what are people groaning about today that we can kind of turn into a prayer and turn into a point of action? It might be a situation whereby it's an unjust situation. People are suffering. No one's helping them. It might be a situation that may be very, very big that we can't do anything, but we ask God to help. Or maybe it might be something very close by, something that we can actually do today. Like Heidi, who started small, but then it grew and grew and grew. Yeah. Okay, and just to mention that the Spirit also groans. Actually, the times when we don't know what to pray about, actually God's Spirit groans inside of us. And that means two things. God feels that pain, but also God helps us to pray. So the Spirit also groans inside of us. All right, last point, that suffering is actually for our good. And this Romans 8:28, all things work for the good of those who love Him. And I just want to make 2 points, that the all things refer also to the bad things. God can actually use them. And bad things doesn't mean that they're good. They're still bad, they're still evil, and but God doesn't condone them. But God is so powerful and sovereign that He can actually use even the bad things to turn it for our good. And the good is, well, partly to make us more like Jesus. Where's that verse again? It says that, God conforms us into the image of His Son, so makes us more like Jesus. But the good is actually that Jesus might be the firstborn amongst many brothers and sisters. So the point of all this is that people might know Christ. God actually uses our suffering to reveal Christ to others. And the point is not just that we are changed, but that Jesus has a family. Many people come to Jesus, and God might actually use our suffering to open the door for them to come to know Christ. Yeah. And I think that's all I have so far. So let me know what you think. This is just an overview of my slides for my presentation tonight. It's on suffering, a very, very big topic, but hopefully it helps us to see that God is able to use our suffering for good, but also God is able to use our suffering to help other people to know Christ. And hopefully that's encouraging. That gives a kind of purpose and hopefulness to times when we go, why is this happening? Or, I can't take this anymore. Let me know what you think. Give me some comments, ways to improve this talk. Or if you're at CUG, PJEFC, see you tonight. Yeah, looking forward to it.